Okay, so I will just share my screen. Okay, so objects. So objects in Salesforce is represent in the form of table. Okay. If you remember in the last class when we saw the overview of Salesforce, that time I told you guys that in Salesforce table is called as object, right? So table representation is called as object in Salesforce. So we have two types of objects. One is standard object. Standard object means the object which are by default provided by Salesforce. Okay, those are called standard object. So for example, we have account here, we have leads, we have opportunities. Okay, so these are standard object. Then the second type of object is custom object. So custom object means the object which we create for our business requirement. It's called as custom object. So that object we can create it from scratch. Just give me a moment. Okay, so custom object. So which objects which we can create in Salesforce, okay, for our business requirement, those are called custom objects. So we'll see about standard objects, okay, some of the examples of standard objects, and try to understand what those objects are, what's the use for that object, okay. So what happens is Salesforce has provided some standard object, okay, and majorly in every org those objects are used. If the requirement is not achievable using those standard object, okay, only then we can create a custom object in Salesforce. So let's see, the first object we have is leads. Yeah. So what is leads? Leads are the people who are interested in your product and services. Let's say that you work in a company, okay, and in that company we have these leads. So these leads means these particular people are interested in our company's product and services. So we can not actually but every company has a different team, like sales team, marketing team, hiring team, etc., right? So in this scenario, sales team can convert these leads into loyal customer, okay, to you know improve the business. So by managing these leads in a systematic and structured way, we can increase number of leads we generate and how many leads we can convert. Okay, so using leads uh, allows us to maintain two separate lists of our company. For example, one is for prospective customers and one is for existing customers. Okay, so now this is particular lead. I'm going to open this lead. So this lead means this particular user, okay, is interested in our product and services. Now imagine I am a part of sales team. Okay, so my job will be to check these leads detail. Okay, here we have phone number, here we have email address. So I will reach out to this lead regarding the services. Okay, let's say that I worked on this lead for about a month. Okay, so here we have status, lead status, right? When the lead create comes in the Salesforce, or let's say we create it in the Salesforce, the status will be open and not contacted. As soon as I started working on that particular lead, I changed the status to working contacted. Now, after a month, let's say that this particular user is ready to purchase our product. That means we have successfully converted this lead into our customer. Okay. Now, remember that user is only interested in buying. Okay. So, what we will do now, we will convert this lead. Okay, so here we have a path and here we have a convert button. So we click on convert, select converted status, and here we have two types of information. This is to create a new account, new contact, and optionally new opportunity for that particular lead. Let's say that this particular lead is already our existing customer. Okay, so in that scenario, what will happen? Account and contact is already present in our system. So in that scenario, our sales team will only search for that particular account for that contact and attach it to the account and contact. If that lead doesn't exist in our system, then we will create a new account and contact and additional opportunities and then click on convert. Okay, so by converting a lead, we create account, contact, and opportunity. Okay, and when these three records are created in the system, this particular lead will no longer be in the system because you have already converted it. Okay, so you won't be able to do that particular lead. Now you will be able to see account, contact, and opportunity. I will show you the example. Let's create a lead from scratch. Okay. So this particular company means I work in this company. So that particular user work in that company. Okay. Okay. Lead status, but not contacted. Save. Okay. Now this lead. I'll change status to working. And if you see here, the status which we have here, okay, that four options, and exactly four options here we have in the path as well. So you can change the status either from this path or from this directly, this particular pick list. Okay, so I can select working contacted and mark as current status, or from here I can change working contacted and save. Okay, now the status is changed. Now let's say that I worked on this particular lead, and now this lead is ready to purchase a product. So I will convert this lead. If lead is not ready and says that I'm not interested in your product, then we can close this as not converted. Okay, so two scenarios we have. Either lead will be ready to become a customer. That time we will convert this into account and contact. And if not, then we will close it as not converted. Okay, so I will convert this, select converted status. Now, let me search. We have GuruSchool account. That means this is the existing lead. Okay, so I can select your GuruSchool account. If not, I can create account and contact from scratch. Here we don't have any name. We only have account. So let's create a new account, new contact. Okay, I'm not going to create the opportunity, so I will select this, do not create opportunity upon creation. So remember, we are creating new account and new contact. Convert. Oh, okay. Okay, great. Now a lead has been converted into account and contact. Now let's see the account. What is an account? Okay, so account means accounts are the companies that you are doing business with. In this scenario, we have our account GuruSchool. Let's say that we have list of accounts, for example, Infosys, Cognizant, and other companies. Okay, and these are the companies with which we are doing con business with. Okay, so when I converted that lead into accounts and contact, what happens is this particular company, okay, this becomes account. This company becomes account and name becomes contact. Okay, so this email will be of contact of email, but other information. So billing address, this is the billing address. Okay, it will be for your account as well as for contact. So let me open account here. Okay, this is the newly created account in the system. So what information it has from lead, only GuruSchool name and phone number. Why? Because we have not entered any other information while creating the leads. So we only have this information. Okay. Now this is the account, that means company which with we are doing business with. Now second object is contact object. So contact object means people who work in that particular company. Okay. Let me open contact here. Okay. This is the contact. So if you see here, this is the newly created contact, okay, which we have just created. So I'm going to open it. So that means this particular user works in GuruSchool company. And here we have other information like mobile, email, lead source, and other information. Okay. Now, accounts, contacts, and then opportunities. So opportunities here. So we did not create an opportunity, but try to understand what the opportunities are. Okay, so we can track and manage the potential deal with Salesforce opportunities. Okay, opportunities are deals in progress. So, if you remember, we converted the lead. Why? Because that user was interested in become a potential customer. Now, once we convert the lead, now we will track that particular deal. Okay, once we convert a lead into account contact and opportunities, that doesn't mean that user has purchased a product or opt for our services. Okay, now we have another item, which is opportunities. Let's say that about a month I worked on this particular opportunities. Okay, and then I can close this deal either as close won or as close lost. Close lost means a customer did not purchase a product, and close one means customer did purchase a product. So I'm going to open this opportunity. So opportunities are deals in progress. So opportunity record track details about the deals, including which account they are for. So if you see here, we have account name, then who the players are, uh, or the amount of potential sales. Okay, so here we have different types of uh, path: prospecting, qualification, need analysis. Once our sales team work on this particular deal, okay, and now it's time to close the deal. Then we have a button here, okay, mark this stage as closed, select close stage, and here we have two options, either close won or close lost. Close lost means we already lost this particular deal. Now customer is not buying our product. And close won means customer is ready, is actually buying the product. Okay. So this way we can uh, close any particular deal. So these are the main standard object of Salesforce: leads, accounts, contact, and opportunity. These are main standard object of Salesforce, which are widely used in every company. Any question till here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said we have two kind of objects. One is standard, another one is custom, right? So
Yes.
opportunities, leads, account, and contacts are the general using like standard. What was the last point you said? Sorry, I missed that.
About what? Is it regarding opportunity?
No, I mean, you were concluding your statement by saying that these are the
Standard objects, which
standard
are,
objects. Yeah.
yeah.
So what are the standard objects?
So standard object means the objects which are provided by Salesforce. Those are by
Salesforce. Okay.
default, yeah, by
Mhm.
default created by Salesforce. So each and every org will have these standard objects. So when you
Got it.
created your developer org, okay,
Mhm.
in that org also these objects are there. Now it
Okay.
depends upon the user whether you want to use this object or you want to create your custom object. But as these objects are given like so many functionalities, right? So everyone uses this object because every company is solely based on these three things, like marketing, right? Communicating with your clients or customer, or trying to whether it is a product or service
Got it.
like we opt for any service, for example, Netflix or Amazon Prime, okay, subscription based. So each and every business needs, like, depends on these basic functionalities, for example, sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marketing. So this can be achieved using the standard object. Now,
Okay.
why I am explaining the standard object? Because uh, as a Salesforce admin, it's not our job to work on leads, create leads, or convert leads, right? Or create account contact. This job is for a sales team, right?
Okay.
But um, as a Salesforce admin, it will be our job to make sales team job or marketing team jobs easy. For
Okay.
example, if they want any additional fields here or additional, let's say, any automation, or if they want to change anything here in in this particular page, for example, this field, delivery installation status, they want here at the top, okay, not at the bottom. So these changes we can do as a Salesforce admin. So we have privileges. So in order to, you know, directly go ahead and do changes, first we can understand why these objects are used, so that it will be easy for us to make those changes, right? That's why I explained the standard objects to you guys.
Got it.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, I will consider this as no, so we can move forward with the new topic. Okay, now this is not my newly created org, this is the old org. So here we have some of the standard and custom objects which we have created for previous batch. Okay, so I will give you the demo of how we can create custom objects in the system, but there might be chances that the label which I am giving is different from what you have to apply. Okay, so we saw what standard objects are and how standard objects work. Now let's talk about custom objects. So custom object means the object which are created for business requirement. Those are called custom object. So we are going to create custom objects in our system for our hiring team. So we have two custom objects. One is position. Position object is to track positions in all stages of the process. Okay, whether the position is open, filled, or cancelled. And the second object is candidate object. Means it will track all the candidates who apply for any particular position. Okay, so these two custom objects we are going to create in the system. Now, in order to create any particular custom object, what steps we'll have to take? So for that, first go into the setup. If you are on this particular page, then we'll have to go into the setup here, click on setup here, click on setup, and click on object manager. Okay, now once we click on object manager, list of all the objects, whatever objects are present in our system, okay, those will gonna appear over here. So if you see, we have account standard objects, so we have so many standard objects, and some of custom objects also we have created, okay, for the last batch. So I'm going to create a new custom object now. So when you come to this object manager, okay, there you will see the type as well. So when you see the main difference to identify whether it is a standard object or custom object, here label and API name is exactly same for standard object. So if you see here, label is account, API name is account. But if I Okay, so this is the position object which we have created for last batch. Okay, so here you can see label is position, but API name is position underscore underscore C. So whatever custom thing you create in the system, that will always have this underscore underscore C. Even if you create custom field, that will also have the exact same. Okay. So in this way, you can identify whether it is a standard object or custom object, and also type is also given there.
Just a quick question.
Mhm.
When you have created a custom object and you said the API name is different, so the underscore that is after the position is
Mhm.
default, or did you set it
No,
as underscore?
no, it's by default. Salesforce
Default.
adds this underscore underscore C. Yeah. So when we create this, we create with this name only. But
Okay.
Salesforce, I mean this API name to underscore underscore C. So whatever you will create, okay, that will have this underscore underscore C.
Okay.
Okay. So let's create the custom object. API name should be unique, right? So even if I will create position object like this, I will have to give some uh, prefix or suffix here, because position API name, this is the label and this is the API name, right? So if you see here, right now I am giving only position, but Salesforce will automatically amend it with underscore underscore C. But just to avoid error, I'm going to add here as position 1, because we already have a position object created and already have the API name as position. Okay. And to identify, I'm going to make it, okay, like this. Okay. So I have given label. Now this label I have given for my understanding, because we have, like, after this object is created in the system, we will have two objects with the same thing. So I don't want to get confused. That's why I have given a label in the caps. Okay. But the proper labeling thing is like this. Example is also given. Account, plural label will be accounts. Okay. So whatever object you create, you will have to add s, so that that plural label will gonna be show up like this in the system: opportunities, leads, accounts. Why? Because it has multiple records. Okay. Not only one record, but multiple records. That's why. Okay. Now here we can give description. Okay. Uh, Description, let's say the object stores information about open job positions at a company. Now, I will scroll down. So first thing is label. Once we add the label, system will automatically take the object name. It will be the API name. Then we will add plural label. Okay, description. Now we'll scroll down and here we have this information. So a record name field will automatically gets created when you create any particular object. For position name. If you are creating candidate object, candidate name, right? So whatever object you create, every object will have a name field. For example, here in account also we had account name. Opportunity we had opportunity name, right? Exactly similar we have here position name. So when we create custom object in the system, that time we have two types, either text or auto number. So text means a simple box where you can enter values and give name. Auto number means if you select this auto number, then system will automatically create number for your records. For example, account. Let's say I am creating a new account. So I clicked on new. And here we have account name field. So I can give name, right? Whatever name I want to give here. But instead of giving this account name field, let's say that I have given auto number, then what will happen? So system will automatically create this number and we will we don't have any option to fill up that information. So whatever record, so let's say you created first record, right? So Salesforce will give number as 001. If you create second record, Salesforce will give number as 002. Okay. So here it will be exact same. Record name is position name. Data type is text. Okay, because I want this particular field on the object. Now we have optional features like allow reports, allow activities, allow track field history. Okay, now these are all the optional features. Even if you don't select this now, that's fine. Okay, later on, let's say if there is any requirement that you need to create reports on this particular object or track field history, so you can always come back to the object manager setting and there you can enable these features. So by enabling these features, Salesforce will allow you to create reports, activities. You can also track the field history. Okay, but that depends on whether this is the project requirement or not. I'm going to select this as of now. I'm not going to touch this. Okay, these are the standard settings from Salesforce and it will be as it is. Remember that deployment status should be always deployed. So sometimes what happens, you are creating a custom object, okay, and that time it is in development. Then you have completed your custom object, but your users are still raising an issue that they don't have access to the custom object or they don't see it in the system. So even though everything is correct, access is correct, security wise, object is created, tab is created, everything is created, but still you don't see that. Why? Because deployment status is in development. It should be always deployed. Okay. So even if you select this at the time of object creation, do not forget to change the status from in development to deployed. So once you change it, okay, user will be able to see it. It just, we can say a security provided by Salesforce. So let's say you are working this on this particular object in production, right? And in production, let's say that you have thousands of employees working at the same time in the production, and you don't want to confuse them, right? In that scenario, it will be sensible that to make the status as in development. But once your work is done, now you have provided training or documents to your employees to use that particular object. So status should be deployed so that they will be able to view that object. Okay, now search status. Okay, once you allow this, you will be able to search it in global search. And these are the options which are only available when you create the object. So first one is adds notes and attachment. Second one is create custom tab wizard. But even though it is mentioned that this is not available, this option is there. Even if you forget to create the tab from here, you can create a tab from settings. So I will open the setting just to show you. Tabs means when we create a tab, that tab we can add it over here, okay, in this particular list. And using that tab, we can access the object. So even though you have created your custom object, but you have not created your tab, okay, in that scenario also user won't be able to access that particular object. So do not forget to create the tab. Either you can create it at the time you are creating the object, or if you forget to create it, then we have an option here in the quick find box. Enter tab, click on tabs. Now here these are all the custom object which we have created. Click on new button, and whatever object is there, that object will gonna show. So remember, one tab per object. Okay, so once that object is used here, okay, you cannot create multiple tabs for one object. So like this you can create tab, but what I will do, I will create it from itself, so at the time of object creation. So I'm going to save. And once I save this, system will automatically redirect me to create the tab, if you see here. Okay. Now I will select the tab style. Let's say this one. Next. These are some security settings. Apply one tab visibility to all profile. That means this tab will be available to all the profile. As of now, I can select that. But when you are working for any particular company, you will have the exact same requirement from your client or customer. For example, uh, there might be scenario that this tab only applies to one profile. Okay, now what is profile exactly? That we are going to see in the security module. But as of now, just understand that using, we can give access to the profile, and based on that, user can see. So let's say that only marketing user or solution manager should have access. In that scenario, what we will do? We will select here apply different tab visibility. We will make it as default on. Here we have three objects: default on, default off, or tab hidden. Default on means that tab will gonna be seen here in the application. Okay. Default off means tab will be still there, but you can see that here in the 9 dots, not here in the application, in the 9 dots. Okay, once I click on it, you will have to search it. And tab hidden means that tab is completely hidden to that particular profile, so they no longer view that particular tab, even in 9 dots. These are called app launchers. These 9 dots called as app launchers. So even you cannot search that tab over here. Okay. So for each and every profile, you can give this setting. But as of now, I will keep default on to every profile. Next, this is the applications which we have in our Salesforce org. Okay, these are all standard ones. We are going to create the custom one, and what are the applications, that also we can see. But remember that if the application is already created, right, and if we are creating any custom object, we can directly add it from here. If no, if you have already created a custom object, then how to add an object in the application, that we are going to see in the next session. So save. Okay, now this is the object setting. Okay, you can see, as I told you, we can always come back to the object manager. Here you can see two objects. This one I have created for the previous batch, and this is the newly created position object which we have created today. So I'm going to click on it, and here we have that option. So if I want to edit it, okay, the exact same page will gonna show up, and you can do the changes. Now go to fields and relationship, and you see that when we created this custom object, Salesforce has by default created this fields, okay, which is position name, owner, created by, and last modified by. Now let's go here and refresh the page, and let's search for our newly created position. So I will click on the position tab. Okay, now we don't have any records for this position tab because this is a newly created object in the system, right? Now I want to create a record for this particular object. So what I will do, I will click on this new button, and only position name and owner field is showing. Why? Because as of now, we only have four fields: position name and owner. Created by and last modified by. These field will automatically fetch the value and update it. So let's say I'm creating this position, which is here. So, okay. Owner is by default taking my name as Amrapali. I will save this, and once I save this, you can see created by and last modified by is also automatically populates. So it populates the real time name and date and time. Okay, so who is creating this particular record, and the date and the time, okay, of the creation. So this way we can create a record for the newly created custom object position. Now I want here that we only have these four fields, but we need multiple fields, like we should have status field for the position object, then job description, then responsibilities, right? So these fields which we need to create, okay, in the system. So if you remember in the last session, I explain you what are fields. So fields are like columns in a table. Okay. So in Salesforce language, we call it as fields. And object fields store the data for our record. So fields are also two types. One is standard fields and second one is custom fields. So standard fields means the fields which are by default created by Salesforce. Okay. Now these four fields are standard fields. Why? Because these are created by Salesforce and we have no option to delete any standard fields in Salesforce. Now for this custom object, Salesforce has created this four field. But for other standard object, there might be possibility that Salesforce has created uh, 30 fields or 50 fields. Okay, so we do not have any option to delete those fields. If we want, we can change the label, but we cannot delete it. And second type is creating a custom field in Salesforce, right? So these are standard fields and we are going to create a custom field. So I'm going to show it to you how we can create custom fields in Salesforce. So first field I will create is status. Okay, so I am in the fields and relationship. Remember that for whatever object you want to create a field, you'll have to go to the object manager, search for that particular object, okay? Go to the fields and relationship, and then you will be able to create a new field slash column. So I'm going to click on this new button. Okay. Once I click on this new button, okay, you see that we have so many options over here. Okay, so Salesforce has given these options which are called data type. Okay, so this data type specify what type of that particular field. For example, if I want to create a simple plain text, okay, like this is a normal simple plain text, a field where you can enter any value. I can select text. If I want any date field which will store a date type, okay, I will select date. Then similarly, we have currency field, checkbox field, which returns value as true or false. So for each and every data type, Salesforce has given the description as well. If you see checkbox, then for currency, for date, for this is the email field. Then we have number field, we have phone field, right? We have text field. So these are different types of data type, okay, using which we can create a field. So first field I want is status field, which will have multiple options. And from those multiple options, I should be able to select only one option. So if I go to account and select this rating field, you see I have three options over here, right? And from these three options, I can select one option at the time. So exactly same type of field, I want to create it for position object. So for that, we are going to select here as pick list. Okay, so here selection description is also given. Allow user to select a value from a list you define. Then we have second type of field, pick list, but it is multi-select. So in multi-select, what happens? Let's say that we have 10 values. Okay, we have defined 10 values. So from those 10 values, we can select multiple values at the same time. But right now, we want one option. Okay, so we will select here as pick list. So I will select here pick list, then click on next. Okay, I will give label as status. And once I enter any value over here, field name automatically takes it. So field, this is field label and field name is API name. So it will also have underscore underscore C. But that Salesforce will, I mean, we cannot do that, right? Now I want to enter some options over here. So for that, I will select this enter value, and here I will paste values one by one. So remember that when you are creating pick list field or multi-select pick list field and you want to add options, always give options like this one by one. Never give option in one single line. If you do that, then what will happen? Salesforce will recognize it as one option only. So if you want to give multiple option, you will have to write it one by one. Exactly similar like this. You can give description, okay? You can add help text so that user will be able to understand what that field is and what value we have to add. For example, help text is given here like this I. So when you hover over, it displays some text. Okay. Uh, if you see here, this is that this text displays on detail and edit pages when user hover over, okay, in the info icon next to the field. So exactly like this, it will gonna show up for any field with for which you are creating a help text. Okay. You can make a field required as well. If you make a field required at the time of field creation, then that will be required, and it will have a asterisk mark. That means it's a universally required field. Uh, Not universally, but required field. But when you make the field required from field itself, that makes it universally required field. Okay, so you need to be very sure that which field you want to make the required. So that all information you will have to take from your client, okay, before creating any of this in the system. I'm not going to make this field as required. I will click on next. Okay, now this is a security part. So here, if you remember, at the time of object creation and tab creation, we had the exact same page where we had multiple profiles, okay? And using this visible checkbox specifies that that particular object will have an access, okay? So exactly similar applies to this. When you give access, okay, that means that particular user who belongs to marketing profile will have access to the field. So as of now, I'm not going to make any change over here, but in real time, there might be scenario that only two profile needs access or three profile needs access. So in that scenario, you will have to remove all this, only check those three profiles and then move ahead. Next. And this is the position layout. So I'm going to add this is the last page, okay? I will add it into the layout. So it will gonna show up here below position name and save. Now a status field is created. Refresh this. And you see the status field is showing now. Once I will click on this edit pencil, I can have this multiple option, and from that multiple option I can select one option. So first option I will select as new position. So this way we can create custom object. So you will have to create I believe more, sorry, not custom object, custom fields, more custom fields for object. So we have assignment for creation of position object. It's custom field. then candidate object, and its custom field. So try to create these in your demo org so you will have an idea how you can create different types of fields, okay, and how you can see that in the object. Any question here?
No.
Okay.
So you said us to create a custom object first and then add fields in it.
Right. So in the assignment, everything is step by step. Okay.
Okay.
So assignment we will give you guys. You can see the WhatsApp group. From there, download that um, file. In that file, you will see the exact steps how to create position object, which will be step by step. Like click on setup, click on create, enter object name. So all will be in step by step, right? So just try to create these objects and fields in your system, okay, or in your developer art, so you will have like a better understanding how it's created in the system. Any other question? Okay, I will stop the screen sharing. So that's it for today, guys. So we saw standard objects. What's the use of standard objects? Okay. Then how to create a custom object and how to create custom fields in Salesforce. So we will give you guys the assignment on the Salesforce admin group, WhatsApp group. Download it from there and try to create it. If you have any questions, we can see those questions in next session. Okay. Yeah. So that's it for
Sure.
today,
Thank
guys.
you.
Mhm. Thank you, guys. Bye.